Welcome, guys, to a Your Success Plan Education. We are here to talk to you a little bit about some leadership skills, how to become a leader, because we are in a leadership-driven business. This is the only way that you can build big teams. So I'm going to go through this presentation as fast as possible, and I would highly recommend you watch it a few times, because sometimes in our business, not everything is obvious. It's extremely simple what we do, but it's not always obvious. That's why we tend to get quite a lot of questions. So, you guys are here because you've taken the steps to join the Empower business, and you've probably got these questions. Well, how do I get these teams to get bigger? How can I start to get those proper results after the launch? So, well, I always say that, did you know that success is a decision? Okay, some people say, well, no, it's luck, or, that guy was just lucky, that woman was just lucky. No, it's actually a decision, okay? But in multi-level marketing, you can build without a system, or you can build with a system. I remember many years ago when I was working with another organization where I did most of my training, which was also the #1 education in the world for entrepreneurs. They said to me, Jason, do you want to build with trial and error? That means run around and try and do it on your own. Or would you like to build it with a system where you could get 100% predictable results? And the thing is, I always thought I was quite smart. So I said, well, of course, I'd rather build with a team where they know how to get results. Okay. Because I see people come into these businesses and they say, no, I'll do it my way. I'm the expert. Okay. In 20 years, I've just been honest with you, in 20 years, I have not seen one successful expert in a multi-level marketing business. It doesn't happen. Okay. And you will understand that as you start to build your business. So why do we have a system? Well, I've spent a lot of time putting this system together for you to help you build your business. Okay. And it makes your life much more simple, because when you're adding a person to, they join up with Empower Life, and you're always going to get the question, what do I do? Well, we want to look for something called duplication. That basically means that when you start registering people into the team, they know exactly what to do. They become educated. Okay. I can guarantee now that you do not want to have a business where people are just stacking people underneath each other and then leaving them alone, because what you end up with is like a 1,000 deep network, which is like a wind tunnel. There's nothing profitable running through it, because when people don't have dreams, they don't have goals, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to market, they don't talk the right way to their teams, they don't talk the right ways to their sponsors. You can't hope to make any money, and it's really important that we're going to duplicate the right things. So we want to get predictable results. I remember I said 100% predictable results. Okay, I like to build my business with a system because it's 100% predictable results, and I'm looking for something that's long lasting. It's going to create a profitable business. I don't want to spend months and months building something just to see it all falls apart. Okay, like most people build their networks, they end up with networks that fall apart because they don't have a system. It's like the glue that glues the network together. Okay. Another reason why people fail, if you're in the army, quite often before they go into battle, they normally ask the question, say, well, what could make us lose? Okay, because I see everybody all excited, and 100,000 people have come in the first few weeks into Empower Life. They're all excited, but they're not. Most of them are not asking the question, what could stop me from winning in this business? What could stop me from getting the results? Well, the one reason is that they can't allow themselves to be led. So I'm going to ask you the question: can you allow yourself to trust the system? Can you allow yourself to be led by someone with over 20 years experience in multi-level marketing? Okay. And then you've also got Alexis, multi-millionaire in the industry. Are you able to follow his advice? Because the most people, they said, no, I'll do it my own way. I'll just throw some people in, and then they don't get the results. And guess what? They quit and they go and join the next opportunity that looks like the next best launch. Okay, don't be one of those guys. You know, follow the leadership and allow yourself to be led. The biggest problem is, you see, everybody wants to know when they're wrong, but nobody wants to be told they're wrong. Okay, nobody wants to look like an idiot, right? But the thing is, it's okay if you ask questions to your active upline. We're there to help, we're there to guide you. So what also can go wrong? Well, bad communication, not using a system, and not taking action. Okay, these are the biggest killers in our industry. Okay, bad communication is that when you have a network which is not using the system, the business language changes as the network gets deeper. Okay, but if you have everybody using the same page or the same, you know, the same website, the language stays the same. Because I would love to come and say, well, I can see Lee online right now. Lee, if I, you know, you put a big team together, 1,000 people, and I go down to the deepest point in your network and I say, Lee, I understand you're in Lee's business, so 1,000 deep, what system are you using? I want to hear them say, well, we were given this, your success plan thing, and it's awesome. That means that the message duplicated through the entire network. Okay, so really important to use the system. So 80% of the work is actually on you. Okay, it's not about the building the business. We're actually in the business of building people. So let me just explain that for a second. If I registered Lee, okay, he's one of my downlines, or Donnie, I spend 80% of my time making sure that these guys become educated, they become confident, they start to have dreams about their future, they start to see possibilities. And I want to make sure that they see that they're ready to grow, and they are growing. Because when you have a business relationship in a network where people are feeling confident and excited about the future, you can't shut them up. They set goals. It's really funny. They set crazy goals. They start sponsoring everything in sight. And guess what? They start duplicating the right things where they're helping their key members in the team start to build as a person as well. And that is the key, because if you have uneducated people in your network, it means zero money in the bank. So if you want zero money in the bank, don't use the system. Okay, so anyway, are you building on empty? Okay, this is an illustration I saw right from a seminar many years ago, and this guy walked on with a glass of water and he said, are you building the business on empty? And I thought, oh, this is weird. He says, your glass needs to be so full, it needs to be overflowing. And when it's overflowing, you will be sponsoring everything in sight. And I said, well, how do I fill the glass? Okay, how do I make myself be full? I don't know if you've ever seen it, you know, if we look at Alexis Thomas, isn't that guy got electricity coming out of his brain? If you meet Alexis Thomas, you'll want to join any business with him, because he's just so excited about his future, and he's more excited about your future. His glass is full for a reason. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. Well, you need to get yourself right. You need to make sure that you are overflowing with excitement. Well, how do you do that? You need to get realistic about your dream book. Okay, this is something very, very alien. I've got a film in the Getting Started which goes on about the dream. If you haven't watched it, you're missing out. Okay, because that is top class education about how to wake your dreams up so you can start to realize that everything is possible in life. You know, you're going to need to build a list of people. That basically means you're going to write down every person you know. Because I tell you something, when you've got two pieces of paper in front of you, and one says dream list and the other one says name list, I don't know, it just clicks together and you start to think, hang on, this business is possible. I've got my list, I've got my dreams. What is standing in the way? Well, it's action. Okay, action and consistency. You want to be consistent, you're going to take action. You need to have a good vision for your future. What's your 5-year plan, 10-year plan? You know, we don't need to go any higher than that, but what's your 5-year plan? Do you know where are you going to be in the next 5 years? What's your bank account going to look like? What car are you going to drive? What holidays are you going to take? What is your vision? Do you know? Because if you don't know, nobody else knows. You need to know this stuff. You need to know what your purpose is. Okay, don't wake up every morning not knowing what your purpose is. I'm getting a bit tough now, guys. I love these leadership meetings, but I'm being honest with you. I want you to get results. I want you to be fired up about your future. 15 minutes a day reading. Easy to do, easy not to do. Listening to audios. I'll go through that later, why it's so important. Okay, well, without system, your structure looks like that. It's like you're balancing one member on top of the other. The bigger rocks are more educated. The little ones are uneducated. They're sort of like making funny comments in the group that everybody's idiots. And we know how damaging it is, because if one little one gets upset, guess what happens to your network? It can completely collapse because it's not strong. Do you want to build your financial future on a network that looks like that? I definitely don't. Okay, I've been around the industry for a long time, and I never build my networks like that. But how do we do it? Well, we know these people are a bit rough around the edges. I'm not being rude to anyone, but we've all had an education that taught us to have a job, right? And we're talking about becoming an entrepreneur, a professional marketer online. We need to do something different. And all you need to do is get that getting started page and start following the films, join our it tells you everything to do. And what you're actually doing, you're coming into the Your Success Plan, which is completely free. I don't charge you any money for this, and I never will. This is free for you, and it's free for every single person you bring in. Okay, so they're going to get the best education based on fact, so they can learn. And as they come through, they're getting educated, and they become a predictable person that we can work with. Well, what are these predictable people doing? The predictable people are doing 7 success habits. Okay, remember at the beginning I said that there was basically, you need to make a decision. Success is a decision, but you need to manage your decision daily. Well, what do we need to do daily? Well, you're going to have to consistently show your business. That doesn't mean you have to work. Come on, guys, you're going to work 10 hours a day, Monday, Tuesday. I'm never going to say that to you, because you've all got busy lives, right? You've all got lots of things going on. But what I recommend is you decide. You have to be deliberate with this stuff. You have to write down a piece of paper. You're going to say, well, how many people did I contact today about the business? Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 20? Okay, be consistent. We've got education that teaches you how to contact people and so on. Follow the system. That's number 2. You're going to give the getting started link to people instantly as soon as they sign up. Okay, and if a person asks you, oh, I've got a question, if they've got a question, they haven't watched the films. Okay, I know that because when I go into my YouTube channel, I can see exactly how many people's in the group, and I can see how many times the films are watched, and the numbers do not match. That means people aren't watching the films. That is, I don't know, that's taking money from your bank account if you're not getting educated. Okay, just being honest with you guys. How quickly should you get a person followed up and started? That within 24 hours, you want to make sure they've got that link in their hands and they're already watching it. When I send a link to a brand new downline, I actually send them a message about 2 hours later. And I say, what do you like most about the first film in the getting started? All right, because they will always answer, and I know instantly if they've started watching it, or I also know, if they're really excited to actually do something. And I will ask them a few times, because I'm waiting for them to meet me halfway, that I know that is a person that I want to spend my time with. Okay, I want to spend my time with people in my network that are actually following the success habits. Number 4, attend Zooms. Okay, congratulations, guys, you're all on this Zoom. You're winners already, because you're seeing the education. Some of you have actually invited some of your members, so it means you're not working alone. 80% of the reason why people don't go to Zoom meetings is because nobody invited them, right? Sometimes people are stuck at work, so they still don't invite them. You're far better off to send the message out. Look, I don't want you to miss out on this Zoom meeting. Here's the link. Unfortunately for me, I'm stuck at work, but I don't want you to miss out. That is duplication. It means that your people in the meeting are still going to the meeting, even if you're stuck in your job that you hate. Okay. 15 minutes a day reading recommended books. The only way to change how you think as a leader is to read recommended books. Okay, I talk about this all the time. It still surprises me how little amount of people actually ask me for the book list. It's so small, it's scary. And that just actually means that people don't want to learn. They don't want to change how they think. But remember, guys, You had an education at the beginning of your life that taught you how to have the life you have now. And if you're complaining about how bad it is, it's because of the education you had in the beginning. Right? So when you want to start doing something different, you want to have different results, different money in the bank, you need to read it. 15 minutes a day is nothing. Okay. So, and then, you know, listening to positive audios, that really, really important. You need to listen to positive audios, because we all have that little inner voice in our minds that never ever shuts up. And we need to shut that little voice up, because it keeps giving you the doubt feelings that, you know, every time you've got a great idea, it sort of says to you that, you know, you can't do it, you've done something like this before, blah blah blah, and it slows you down on your goals. You need to listen to positive audios. I even have a playlist for that. Be a team player, edification, counseling. We need to do a whole other meeting on edification. That is a separate subject, but the people that are best at edification, they build the biggest teams in the world. Okay, so I'm going to do a separate education for that, but it basically means promoting others instead of yourself. Nobody wants to listen to someone who blows their own trumpet. Okay, it's nothing worse than say, join me, I'm great. You know, I won't join anybody that says that. But if someone else has told me, I've met this guy that's very, very successful, I'm going to see if I can get 5 minutes of his time to see if we can talk about your financial future. The message is almost the same, but it's a very different result, because I'm then hungry to, well, who is this person? I want to meet them. So, and then, well, what do? Well, we just need to keep sharing our link, and we need to keep bringing people in, so we get more people which are predictable to work with, that are educated, and your structure starts to look a bit stronger. All right, that looks a little bit different from that old balancing act from before. So how do we get started? Well, first of all, number one, you're going to sign up with the Empower Life business. Number two, you're going to upgrade your account. Okay. Number three, you know, you're going to get your success education from your sponsor. Okay, so if your sponsor is not plugged in and they're not promoting the getting started, please send me a message, and you can get it from me or one of the other leaders that's on this meeting. But if you're not getting that link, they are basically cutting information to help you build the business. Okay. Number four, advertise your business. We're going to, you know, teach you how to learn marketing skills, connect and connect new people to the system. All right, so very simple stuff. Goals. The difference between working with a goal and not working with a goal is always results. Okay, anybody here not want results, or everybody here want results? If you want results, you need to be working with a goal, and it must have a date. Okay, I work with such simple goal cards. I see most people overcomplicate it. Don't. If you haven't sponsored 10 people, your goal is to sponsor 10 people. All right, and you can see at the top it says goal date. Okay, why do we have a goal date? Well, we need to get in action. So for me, if I'm a brand new person, or you're a brand new person, you've never done this before, I would look at my calendar and I would count 14 days into the future, and I would write that date in there, and then I would get in action. Okay, what is the action? Well, there is education in the getting started to show you what action you need to take. Okay, and you'll be surprised. And this page, you know, sometimes I hear people say, well, I can't print it off. Well, are you a leader, or are you a thumb sucker? Now I'm getting rude, right? Because is there anybody here that could take a piece of paper and draw 10 circles on it by hand? Of course. All right. It's not an excuse. You can actually print this off. You can draw it, but you need to put it somewhere where you can see it. Okay, I'm quite deliberate. I put things on my ceiling. It's the first thing I see when I wake up, and it's the first thing, it's the last thing I see when I close my eyes. All right, and I say, well, there's my goal. How cool is that? Right, I better get in action, because if it's in a book on the bookshelf, I'm not going to see it, and I forget my goal, and my normal day things take over, and at the end of the month, oh, it's still empty. All right, and then we have a goal card for the animals. I'm pretty sure there's some animals there now. That 10 thing is for the, you know, the ones that Yeah, they just want to have a bit. I don't know if you've ever met a real driven goal person. It's sort of like, get out my way, and there's bodies flying everywhere, you know. But they've got the goal done, you know. So there is a page for you. If you're a bit aggressive, you can have that. But I recommend you just keep the 10 one. And if you've got you know, I don't know if you know, guys, I just sponsored I think I'm at 100 people now, okay, since the pre-launch. All I've done, I printed one of those off 10 times. Okay. Each time I got to 8, or each time I got to 60, 70, 80, there was a brand new one of these, and I just tick it in. It's one bite at a time. Okay. And you get there one day at a time. So, right. So we go back through the goals. So we've done that. Top leaders tips. Everything you do duplicates, good or bad. Okay. So if you're not using the system, your team won't use the system. You don't become a leader, you become a lid. It basically means you put the lid on your network and it doesn't grow. People don't know what to do. Okay, so make sure that you're, you know, one question I always used to ask myself was, because I had a leader which I was working with for 60 years, and his name was Mats. And whenever I was about to do something, I used to ask myself, what would Mats do in this situation? And then I would get my answer. And if I couldn't find the answer, I would give them a call and ask, okay? Because I wanted to make sure that I duplicated the right things that a person that I knew had the lifestyle I wanted, okay? I wanted to make sure the things were correct. So, are you 100% using the seven success habits? Well, we just showed you those. You know, maybe that takes time. It takes a decision. It takes, you know, you need to be deliberate on that. Do you promote the system? I'm still going on about this stuff, and I'm still talking about it till I'm blue in the face. Do you give that getting started link to people? Okay. Do you have integrity? This is one of the biggest killers in the business. Integrity means doing what you say you're going to do. If you say you're going to do something to an upline or a downline, make sure you do it. Okay, every single time. And if it's impossible, make sure you call them and just say, no, sorry, something's coming up, let's sort it out, you know, because life happens. But don't just leave people hanging around or so on, because it's really important you have integrity, because you want to build trust and loyalty in your teams. Okay. You get counsel from an upline team leader. Okay, but that doesn't mean the person that just signed you up that's got 2 minutes experience. That means, you know, if you want to get around some of the top leaders, like we got Lee here. I can only see Lee because it's just a little picture of it, but I know Lee's, you know, he's got a lot of education in this. And if you're in his team, you know, that is a person just to get around and get some counsel, get some vision on your business. If you're in my team, give me a call. You know, we give counsel not to start, but we give counsel when your business is growing. Okay, because if I give you counsel and you haven't sponsored anyone yet, that's trying to steer a parked car. Okay, but when we've got hundreds of people starting to come in your team, we need to guide you in the right way so you get the best explosion in your business, and it's based on knowledge. Okay, that's why we have good communication upline. Do you use edification? That's promoting your upline to your downlines. Okay, you never ever talk bad about your upline to your downlines. It's one of the biggest killers in networks, because when you join a team and you're talking to your friends want to know where you get your advice from. Okay, otherwise they think if you're not successful yet and you're not driving around in the nice cars, they think about you based on your past actions and results. Okay, so always talk highly about your upline team, because we will always talk highly about you when we're talking to your downline, so they will listen to you more. This is edification. This is something that I'm going to add. We are now going into the pre-launch. It's a couple of days away now, and or 1 day away, but it's going to take a few days while everyone's in, and we are going to start seeing money in our accounts. Correct? All the work that we've been doing for the last 3 weeks, we are then going to see these numbers. Well, we want to make sure we get the next wave. The next wave is it can be even bigger than the one we've just had, because people want to see how much money we've made. Okay. So I've got these flyers, and they go from 100, 200, 300. The second you see yourself reaching one level, we can even do a $50 one so we can start getting things going. But you need to send me a message, or I might even make a Canva thing here, so you can go in and you can edit your photo, add your name and the amount of money, and you post it in our groups, you post it on social media. So the people that have been watching us explode on the 100,000 people, they say, hang on a minute, these guys are actually making a lot of money. I think I better get started. I better upgrade, because I'm also seeing as well, a lot of people haven't upgraded yet. Okay, some people are waiting. Well, let's prove to them the second that they can, that this will be all ready for them. They got these flyers to post, and we're going to show them some real money, what we've been earning. Okay, and we're going to make sure all the downlines that have this as well. So remember, guys, success is a decision. Okay, make it today. Make one decision. Don't do what everybody else does. They make a decision every other week. That's not a decision. That's like, oh, I don't know, it's like a pilot on the runway and he keeps doing that with the accelerator. You'd be a frightened passenger, wouldn't you? Because eventually you're going to run out of tarmac, you're going to run out of speed, and that plane's going to crash. I don't want to be on that journey. Make one decision, you put full power on, you manage your decisions daily, your success decisions daily, and then you start to get results, and you're going to open the floodgates and get all the money coming in. Okay. I've shared with you today some top tips, but I have so much more to say, guys, but I have to fit it into a 30-minute film. But I don't want to overwhelm you, but I could speak for, I could speak for 10 hours on this stuff because I get so excited about it. But I've tried to narrow it down just to make sure that you guys, you see the vision of what I'm trying to show you here. Okay. Also, well, I've actually asked Lee to come on and just say a few words. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Just so you know, Lee Pritchard's based in the UK. He's been working with me for probably 2 or 3 years now, I think. And
yeah, 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, so Lee, love to hear from you.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Well, I'm Lee, and I've been working with Jason for 2 years, near enough now. And I started out as a complete beginner. Didn't know my arse from my elbow, really. But now, it's true. But now I'm fully into all this. I've got my own teams going. In the last one I had nearly 400 in my team. First level downlines, and we had sales of over 400,000 in the end, which was incredible, really, seeing as I've only learned from Jason. Anyway, Jason's been here for 20 years doing this kind of stuff, and he's built some big teams, global teams around, all over the world with these various businesses, and he's got all the contacts with the top, global leaders. So he's very well informed and kept in the loop for everything. My success plan is an education that really does give you everything for free, and it's just incredible value because it's free, and he takes all the time himself to do all the videos, and he does them all out of his goodness of his own heart just to help everybody, really. And it's very valuable experience just going through it and just watching all the videos, because I started out with nothing with it, and now through Jason's help and Jason's help alone, really, I'm where I am now. What else I can say? Yeah, so just stick with Jason. He knows what he's doing, and you won't go wrong. He'll always look after you. He's always there for us 24/7, even when he wants to sleep.
Which is, thanks very much, Lee. Actually, it's not very often. I don't think I've had any sleep since July. So once it launches, you might see Jason go a tiny bit quiet, but not that quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can sleep later when we're on the beach, right?
Yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to say about the dreams as well. That is my dream board there, with everything I want on it. It's always here. So when I walk into my office here, I see it. When I leave, I see it.